How many good ideas go to waste? Citizens, Backwater Affairs is an unreleased game developed from 1994 to 96 by Microprose, known for their simulation games like Civilization, the Tycoon series, and even a few Worms games. They collided with Jim Bambra, an experienced game designer for the tabletop, namely Dungeons & Dragons and Warhammer. They set out to create something inspired by 1985's Little Computer People. LCP was kind of a really advanced Tamagotchi, where the player would give commands and suggestions to an on-screen character, and they'd interact in a little house setting. At this point, most games involved direct control over a single character or a collection of units. AI behavior existed, but it was usually relegated to NPCs the player would interact with. In Citizens, AI was the main system the player had to manipulate to accomplish their goals. The game opens with a car crash. You've died and end up in heaven, where you enter the Celestial Job Center, described as creators of realities for the material age. In order to get a second chance, you're given the responsibility of managing a society under a glass dome called Backwater. Your ultimate goal is to ensure a balance between good and evil, because Judgment Day is coming, literally in the form of your deadline. The player is given tasks to complete to keep the balance, but you don't perform them by directly interacting with the residents of Backwater. Instead, every character has a list of 7 virtues and vices that you can tune up or down. This affects their needs and wants to achieve whatever you'd like, or maybe didn't intend. For instance, the demo, released in 1996, asks you to make Fred Burgerman eat at a restaurant. The UI is a little tough to navigate at first, with a lot going on, but this is a nice, simple introduction to selecting plus or minus, then the trait you want to change, then the character. Just the same, you can up his need for leisure to make him go hang out at the local pool. This system is already pretty intriguing, but the README attached with the demo goes into even more depth about the potential for mayhem. Joe and Anna are so happy together that your chances of splitting them up aren't good. That is, until you boost up Joe's lust and turn Anna into a fitness fanatic. If you also increase Joe's dishonesty, he'll not have any qualms about indulging his new lecherous personality. Want Joe to lose his job? Then turn him into a party animal. He'll be too tired to get up for work. Now, Harry may not be Bruce Willis, but start getting him to attend the gym and he'll soon get into shape. Also make him more talkative, and Anna will start noticing that there's more to this guy than she previously thought. With Joe rapidly deteriorating in Anna's eyes, Harry's going to start appealing to Anna. Joe's lechery is eventually going to get him in all kinds of trouble. His wandering ways have not gone unnoticed. Gossip is starting to spread all over town. Anna's going to find out. It goes into even greater detail about different citizens having different levels of willpower and even having their mood be affected by the weather, which you can also influence with this slot machine. Characters also have physical features which change as time passes. For example, if Fred is very nosy for long periods of time, his nose will become bigger. If characters dislike each other, they'll exchange evil stares or even fight on the street. This system is so full of potential, and it's a crying shame that the game was never completed when it had so much promise. One of the first things that's so striking about it is the gorgeous pixel artwork. I mean, look at the change in lighting and detail for different times of day, the seasons, the weather. The game is a visual feast. Citizen's lead artist was a man by the name of Terry Greer, and it's from him that we can find the reason for its cancellation. In a blog post on his website, he writes, "Citizens was ahead of its time, and not many of those in the US upper management could see its potential. I know this because I was working in Texas on Master of Orion 2 when someone high up from Spectrum Holobyte was touring around and talking about the projects at other studios. He was very dismissive of Citizens. He just couldn't understand the appeal of a game about indirectly controlling the lives of AI characters. I could see then that it was likely to be canned. which it was a few months later. Only 4 years after Citizens was axed, The Sims would release for consoles and home computers. It would go on to sell 1.77 million units in the United States alone. Unfortunately, Citizens Backwater Affairs is doomed to obscurity, a lone demo with a few starter tasks and many non-functional features. Greer's blog does contain a bunch of previously unreleased and unused assets, so I'd recommend checking it out. If I ruled the world, I'd start by scooping up all the great ideas that were unfairly killed and reimagining them. And then world hunger, I guess. Sadly, I'm but an ant with only a high school diploma and about 448 subscribers to my name. That was a downer. Check out the demo. I will link everything down below. I'm experimenting with shorter videos. I don't know how long this one's going to turn out, but these things tend to expand in the oven like Pillsbury pastry rolls. Thank you for watching. Bye.